Hi there. Today I'm going to show you how to create a React desktop application using Go. More specifically, we're using Wails. I don't know if there's any other framework, honestly. And it's pretty basic and simple app, but it's going to show you how to communicate between the Golang side and the JavaScript side. So, the app consists of taking an image, drag and dropping it. As you can see, you can only drop it here, and then we can turn the image to black and white. As I said, this is pretty simple, but it's gonna show you just how to communicate between the two sides, so it's more than enough. I'm not gonna focus that much on the front end side, so I'm gonna use Shadcn with React and Tailwind, but the main focus should be on Wails, so that's what I'm gonna focus on. The code will be available on GitHub, so if you wanna skip some of the front end part, you can just get the code working and that's it. So let's get started. So heading into the Wails documentation, we go to the Get Started section, inside the Creating a Project section, and I'm gonna use React. So paste that in and call it whatever you want. I'm gonna call it Wails test and open VS Code inside it. That's perfect. Oops. This is another try that I did before, but we should have a working React project, and the React project is going to be inside our front end folder. Everything else is just going to be Wails with Golang. So it's all inside this front end folder, at least for the front end part. As you can see, there's going to be a Wails.js folder which contains the bindings, so all the functions that you can call from JavaScript that are going to call your Golang functions. As you can see, they are declared inside here. The extend the abstract. So, for example, greet, which is a public function, is going to be available on the JavaScript side, and it's all typed and automatically also by Wails. As soon as you use the Wails dev command, it's going to create a folder and start our front end application. So let's just start it to test that out. Okay, that's perfect. This is the application that's provided by Wails as a React template, but I'm gonna delete everything and just start a new React application using Shadcn from scratch. So I'm gonna delete the front end folder and go into the Shadcn website, installation, vite, and I'm gonna use their pnpm command. So I'm gonna call it front end. It needs to be called front end, React, TypeScript, and just cd into the front end folder. Let's open up another terminal here, go back, and if I do Wails dev, it should start our new front end. But I need to change something before that, which is using pnpm instead of npm. So this should be it. Now if I do Wails dev, it should create our node modules folder. Yep, it's working. So let's see. It's used our pnpm run, and here is our React application. As you can see, hot module reload is going to work perfectly. Here are our two dashes that we just added in. I'm going to clear everything here. So I'm going to also delete app.css, assets folder. I need a clean project. So yeah, I'm going to create an h1 tag with Tailwind inside it, and use a class name of text red 500 just to test if Tailwind works correctly. So right now it should not work. We still need to finish our Tailwind setup. So let's just copy everything here inside our front end folder, initialize Tailwind, copy our CSS things inside our index.css and set up our Tailwind configuration correctly, and it should be done. Okay, we need to add this to our Tailwind config. This is for ts config and ts. Okay, this is ts config, I think. Yeah, ts config.json, and just add compiler options. Then it's ts config.app.json, and just gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna mark it as chatcn. Okay, we need to install our node types. Nope, no, not inside of here. Oh no, I need to delete it. Did it create it? Yeah, I need to delete these two. Okay, as nothing happened. Install our types. And we should add this to our Vite config. Okay, and it should all be correct. Missing the path variable, so I'm gonna add it to our imports. Okay, our front end should be set up correctly. Let's see if it works. Wails dev, and if we have the red text, it should all be working correctly. I hope so. Yep, it's working. Okay, I'm gonna get a chatcn init. No, not again here. Did it create it again? No, okay. Inside the front end folder. Pay attention to this because it's a mistake that I always do. It's pretty annoying. So neutral, yes, I don't care. Okay, we should have something, but where? Oh, we just initialize it. Okay, okay. I need to add the button. Okay, I see the lib folder, but it should have a source components. But where is it? I don't see it. Is it imported? No, I don't think it created it. Let me try this again. It exists. Where? Oh wow. Where is that? How didn't I see that? It might be a VS Code issue that it just didn't update the tree folder tree. Okay, so we should have it. Okay, yeah, I see it now. Let's see. Let me start Wails again. I'm just gonna abort this. Okay, we have our chatcn button. Now we can start with the project. Okay, now that we have our project, we can start by developing our front-end UI. So I'll go into the app.tsx and let me start the application so we can see our changes. Okay, so we can remove this and create a div with a flex column, and inside I'm gonna have two divs that are gonna accept an image, so something like that, but both of them need to be inside another div with a flex row. Okay, these two should be the images. I'm gonna have a border and around it overflow hidden. I'm gonna do the same thing, like, even though we shouldn't repeat our code, I'm just doing it to have a minimal front end. So we have our button. I'll call it transform image, and we're good. Now, next part is accepting a drag and drop onto our application. So first of all, let me give this a height of half the page and full width. Let's see, doesn't work because maybe no. What would be the issue? Okay, now it works. Okay, that's perfect. I'm gonna give it a padding. That seems good. I can already see our divs. So each div should take half of the parent div. And we're good. Let me give it a gap. And also here a gap. Okay. This seems like a really good starting point. So let's focus on the drag and drop functionality. So inside our Wails documentation, we should have a runtime drag and drop, and we have this on file drop callback function. Okay, so it says here that we have to enable our file drop in the application options. So in our main.go, we should have our application options. Let's see, drag and drop. Okay, yeah, it's auto completing. Yeah, it's correct. And what do I have here? Enable file drop, CSS. Okay, so enable file drop to true. That should be it for the go side. Now, okay, it reloaded. We have our on file drop function, and I'll call it inside the use effect. And here on file drop, let's import it from our Wails.js. So on file drop from, it should be in our root folder. No, where is it? Wails.js runtime. Okay, it should work. Let me see. On file drop. Okay, it found it. So we get a callback function which gives us x, y, and the file path, or paths if we have multiple ones. So x, y, and paths. Okay, let's console log those for now. Another argument is use drop target. Okay, yeah, use drop target, we'll set it to true. What that does is callback, it registers event on the window. Yeah, it allows us to customize our drag and drop inside our front end. So it will give us a Wails drop target active, which will allow us to customize the front end. So I'll go in our index.css and declare this Wails drop target active class, and we can decide what CSS properties this class will have, which is the class that gets added to the element which we add the Wails drop target CSS property. So it's on the first div, which is the one that's gonna accept an image. style, and I'm gonna add Wails drop target to true as React CSS properties. Okay, instead of true should be drop actually. So this div will have the Wails drop target active class added to it once we drag in a file on top of this div. So we can decide what we're gonna do with it. I'm gonna set a border of 1 pixel solid, and for the color I'm gonna go with red. So red should be, nope, okay, I'm just gonna use red from here. So this should work. I'm gonna add important, and that will be it. Let's see, it should work actually, so let me try by opening the Finder, and let's drag a file onto it. You can see only the div that we marked is working, so it's correct. And we can now continue by, once we get our path, we should do something with it. So if we go into our app.go, we're gonna add another function to the context of the application, and I'm gonna call it read file. It's gonna accept a path as a string. It's gonna get another string, and I'm gonna copy this code inside it. It's very simple. It's just reading a file. We're not returning any error. So once we read the file, we're just gonna encode it as a base64 image. So we need to give this function our path. I'm just gonna assume that we only have one path, so I'm gonna take the first one, and let's see if I have the read file. No, it's not auto completed, but we should already have it. Read file from Wails go main. Is there something else? App. Okay. Read file, let's see. As you can see, it's already typed, so we have a path. We get back a promise, so we get our data, which is the base64 image, and I'm gonna set it right here. So const base64 image, set base64 image, use state string or null, and I'm gonna set it right here. So set base64 image to data. Now I'm gonna create an image here, which source will be our base64 image, but only if base64 image is not null. So and it has to have this string before it. So data image png base64 column and the base64 image. I got something missing, I guess. Is there something more? No, it should all be correct, by the way. Oh, here it is. This should work. Let's see. Not yet. Oh, I guess it's because our image does not have a full width and a full height. Let's see if that's it. I hope so. No. This weird. It's not a styling issue. So maybe something did not work on our front end or on our back end. Oh, it actually works. I don't know what happened, but it actually works. Okay, let's just forget about it. So I'm gonna comment our x and y coordinates for the file that we just dropped, and we're halfway through. So I mean, we have the image. We just need to turn it black and white. So I'm gonna create another function which extends our app struct. I'm gonna call it to black and white. It's gonna take a path to the image, and it's gonna give back another path of the new created image. And as I said, I've already created this app, so I'm just gonna copy this code. This is not like the main focus of this video, how to turn an image into black and white, so I'm not gonna cover it. It's very simple. The code will be available on GitHub, so you can just go ahead and copy it. You can do whatever with the image, like this, not the main focus, as I said. So I'm just gonna clear this code a bit. It's very simple code. Oh, maybe file path we still need it. No, okay, file path is our path. Here, clean, not gonna return errors. Okay, so yeah, as I said, this is very simple code. You shouldn't even like write the full code onto the function that extends the app struct. So this is just to have something working. All this is doing is opening the file, decoding it, then turning every pixel to a white and black image, getting the new file name, and it's gonna create this new file in the same directory as the path that we provided of the image. It's just gonna have by as a suffix appended to it, and we're setting some JPEG option, and that's it. Yeah, for this to work, it has to be a JPEG image because that's the only type of image I provided for the code. So we're gonna create the same function on the front end, which is gonna call that. So yeah, handle transform image, which is going to call the to black and white image function from Golang. It hasn't created it yet. I wonder why. To black and white has no export members. Maybe now that it had reloaded the app. That's weird. Let me just run Wails dev again. The function is public because we have the first letter uppercase, but it doesn't seem to find it. To black and white. It actually did find it. Okay, it did find it. So call this to black and white from the path of the image that we didn't save, so we have to save the path of the image. Original image path, set original image path, and it's gonna be null, and we're gonna set it here. Perfect. So inside our to black and white function, we get the path of the image, so original image path, and we get a promise with a string, which is correct. As you can see, it's all typed, and we're gonna create another state for the transform image. Oh, transform image, that's correct. Set transformed image as the data that we received from our callback, and let's see here. Okay, it needs to have an original image path, So we're gonna early return if that's not the case. We get our handle transform image and we assign it to our only button. That's perfect. And this should work. We just have to set it here also. So we get transformed image needs to be equal to true or not null. Am I missing something here? Transformed image. Transformed image. Oh, we're inside the div. Okay. This will be an image with a source that's gonna be the same as the previous one, but instead of our base64 image, we're gonna have the transformed image, even though we get the path to the transformed image, not the transformed image. So we have to reuse our read function. So read file data, and then we set the transformed image as the data that we read. Also here on the onFile drop, we need to create a cleanup function that's called onFile drop off, and we call it. That's a cleanup function to clean this behavior, this event listener. It should all be working now. Let's set a class name of full width and full height, and transform image here. Okay, should all work. I'm not sure if it works on the first try, but I'm very hopeful of so. So let's take our Homer Simpson image, and it works, as you can see, and it saved the file here, so it works correctly. This is it. Like, this is the whole application that I was planning to build with you. I hope the main purpose of this video got through the video, which is communicating between the Golang side and the JS side. As you can see, Wails makes that very easy because it just creates this function and they are already typed by Wails as soon as we run the Wails dev command. So you can see if I change this and accept a path, which is a string of paths. Let me just clean this so Go does not give us errors. Now our to black and white function should accept an array of strings. I have to rerun Wails dev maybe. Oh, yep. As you can see, Vite is already giving us problems. Where is it? To black and white? Maybe not. Wails dev. Wails dev. Let me reload VS Code because maybe it's not updating it correctly. Yeah, it was VS Code. As you can see, now to black and white accepts an array strings, so it's correctly typed as we did change it. Let me bring this back how it was, and here return the output path, and here should work. Wails dev. Let's see. Yep, works correctly. It already typed it back, and our application should be working again. That's perfect. I hope this video was helpful. You should really try this framework out, and I mean, it's really good. It's really well made. It's a valid alternative to Electron or even Tori, and I still have to try it in production, but I mean, the only problem with it's documentation is a bit lacking, you know. The community is not that big, of course, so you have to be ready to scrape that GitHub and GitHub discussions to find your solution. But other than that, it's a pretty valid alternative. I hope this video was useful, and let me know if you build anything or if you have any improvement to suggest in the comments, and I'll be glad to read it and reply to you. Thank you.